Okay. Hey, everybody. So glad you could join us. It's Monday Night Team Call. My name is Janelle Moss, and I am super excited to invite my friend, Debbie Hernandez, here for a guest speaker. So Debbie and I actually met at Leadership Excellence, which is when you become a jewel, you are invited to a special training for jewels. They used to call it jewel training. So maybe some of you know it as that. And so we were in a couple of activities together at the same table. They kind of assign you to tables, and then the next day they switch it up. So you get to meet lots of new people. And she just really impressed me she's just super professional, super focused. She's just got it. There's just something about her that, when somebody's got it, like they are just a natural, and became Facebook friends. And she's just very inspirational in how she leads, how she posts. It's just very inspiring. So she graciously agreed to be a guest on our team call tonight and is going to share a little bit about herself. She is married and has two boys. I asked her to give just a brief overview of her Plexus story, but then maybe touch on a couple other things that she has learned along the way, things that she's implemented and how she shows up in her business, maybe some of her successes. We would love to hear that. So Debbie, go ahead and take it away, girl.
Thanks for asking me. I'm super excited to share. I'm always happy to share what I do. I think that, you know, I started in 2014 on the products, never intending to share whatsoever, never sold anything in my life. And I am a teacher by trade. I have my master's in health education. And prior to that, we had served as missionaries for 14 years in Latin America. And so we had started our family during that time and moved back to the States in order for them to really adjust to living in the US and feel like that was home, because it was home. And before they went to college and things like that. And they're now college age right now. But when we moved back, I knew that I needed to go back to work. I was a stay-at-home mom. I homeschooled the boys then, and felt like they were old enough because we wanted to put them in school for just extracurricular and all those things. And so I knew I needed to go back to work. And my husband has a degree in business and Spanish, but instead he was traveling a lot doing what we were doing. And so instead of traveling, getting a job where he'd have to travel, I wanted him home. And so we both just got jobs as teachers and have been teaching ever since. And it was during that time around 2014, having my master's in health education, we were doing what I was taught to do, which was exercise and eat healthy. And it wasn't cutting it in the whole health picture. We are very, very regimented people. If you know anything about us, we're very consistent and regimented, but it just didn't cut it for our health. And so I actually saw a friend posting about gut health, and that was nothing I was taught that I was taught back in '95 when I was working on my master's in health. There was no talk of it back then. And so that intrigued me because it was talking about the overall health picture and not just weight loss. And I honestly had never taken any supplement in my life other than a multivitamin, Flintstones, Centrum, things like that. And so I knew that didn't do the trick for me. And so I decided to give Plexus a try. And very quickly, I started sleeping better. I also was diagnosed with Hashimoto's as a teen, and I'm 53 now. So as a teen, I was diagnosed with that, struggled with female issues all my life. And so I was having hot flashes as a teen. And so I decided to give it a try, not knowing that it would really help me with all of those things. And found myself, well, let me backtrack a little. I found myself at age 40 having to have a total hysterectomy, ovaries removed, everything. And I thought that would solve my health issues. It didn't. It helped some with some of the things, but it didn't solve all the issues. And so I was still struggling at 43, 3 years post surgery. And that's when I found Plexus, got on Plexus, and was a game changer. I talked my husband into trying it with me because he was on 5 prescription meds. And he rolled his eyes, but as a good guy he is, he just did it with me, and I handed them to him. And we quickly found within the first year that his cardiologist took him off of triglyceride cholesterol meds, and he took himself off of acid reflux meds. His rheumatologist took him off of meds for inflammation and things like that. So all that being said, it really happened for him in a year. For me, I was sleeping better, lost 25 pounds. Thyroid function, my endocrinologist was super impressed with how it had improved. And I'd had nodules on my thyroid since I was a teen, all the way through pregnancies, and now they're no longer there. So they put me on thyroid meds to suppress them back in the day, and that didn't really change anything. So all that being said, health transformed, lost 25 pounds because we were doing the exercise and trying to eat better. But Plexus just was that missing link for both of us. And it took care of the other issues when working in conjunction with all that. That's just, if you see our before and betters, we were running the races, we were doing the things, and it just didn't cut it with those internal things. It has now, and we are Plexus lifers for sure. So for me, that turned into an accidental business. I had been praying for a while. There was something that happened. I thought everything was fine going to work and all the things, and got a great job, was rocking and rolling. It was kind of nice to be back at work and to do the things, and the kids were doing well in school. But there was an incident with my oldest, who was a freshman at the time. He fell and broke his arm, and he was on pain meds. And I really felt like I needed to stay home with him. And so I texted my boss, and it was a state testing day the next day. And I was actually in charge of the online testing. And if you are a teacher or you know anything about testing, you do not miss unless you're on your deathbed. And I just got a response back, well, you do what you need to do, but we need you at work. So I went into work with my heart broken, that the first time I ever had to choose going to work over my kid. And I know for some that may sound silly, but the fact that I just wanted to stay home with him because he was on heavy pain meds and all the things really broke my heart. And so at that moment, I'm the kind of person that's like, okay, God, if this is what you want me to be doing or not, please show me a better way. But I don't like having to choose making, my job or my kid. I don't like having to choose that. So I just prayed that prayer on the way into work, did a good job, and had a good attitude. But little did I know that God had laid this business in my lap. I had dismissed it. I didn't think it would turn into anything beyond what I could do having a master's degree. But in education, you're capped. And no matter what degree you have, and the only way you can earn more money is if you go into admin, which I did not want it to do, or you do something else. I mean, it didn't matter. I had my master's. I think I had like $100 more a month because I had my master's minus taxes. And so I just started sharing with family and friends, and I still didn't see the big picture that God had laid out for me. But earned that first iPad, and money started coming in, and then somewhere along the way it clicked for me. And I talked to my husband, and he rolled his eyes again, and he's like, only if you can make what you're making as a teacher can you do that, because we're a two-income family and both teachers. And so I'm like, okay, game on. And so it was born from there. I started actually trying to intentionally learn how to work the business. I didn't really have anybody training me how to share. So I made a lot of mistakes, but I love John Maxwell's book, Failing Forward. And that's just what I've always done. But I'm not someone who gets on that emotional roller coaster in this. And I just try to share my heart and honestly what it's done for us. And so I've grown a lot because my wheelhouse is health. And that's what I shared about most of the time. And probably, I probably could pretty much strong armed it to Emerald because I'm very, very wide and not very deep. But since I hit Emerald 2 years ago, I've been working on learning and intentionally learning how to duplicate and look for people who want this business as well, or actually plant that seed. So I'm still in a work in process in that, or in progress, but I will tell you that I have been able to continue growing even 10 years in, and last month I swept the contest, the first month of the was last month, first, whatever, the first month of the contest I swept it, and then I'm about to earn it on my husband's leg too. And so, I think that's just a testament of just staying in, doing the things, and not getting to a place where I don't have anybody else, really, really deep. I have two rubies and my husband is a ruby. So, that's me, right? And so, although he does all the stuff behind the scenes, because I don't do any of the detailed stuff, I do the sharing and the helping people get healthy. So, anyway, that's kind of the scoop on how I fell into it. And I say fell into it. I do believe that it was just God, opening my eyes to what was laid in front of me, and I'm so grateful for it, and grateful for the opportunity to grow and share. So, do you have questions for me? Because I don't know what else to share with you other than I do my own thing. I will tell you that when I show up daily, I show up to work daily. I've never ever stopped working. I treat it like I did when my kids were homeschooling. Some of you may be homeschool moms on here, and maybe not the same thing, but I made them get up and get dressed and brush their teeth and be ready for school and and do the things. And it worked pretty well for us. They were ahead when they went to school, many years ahead academically and all the things. And so that's kind of what I do. I work my business daily. I show up, and I have I say I have pretty good retention, but you always have natural attrition. But I do have pretty good retention. And so forth, of the people that I recruit. So, I'm not sure that I can give you a good plan on duplication because I'm still figuring that out. So I welcome any tutoring on that for any of you who might want to help me on that. But I can recruit like nobody's business, and I can help people with their health, and continue growing even 10 years in. So last month I recruited 9 personally, and well, on my husband's leg, because I went back to adding to his. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with my business. But yeah, I just share from the heart, and I don't really plan a lot on what I'm going to share. I kind of go by, I try to share I try to share something health wise daily, and then I also I have incorporated sharing about the business, which is very uncomfortable for me. And I'm working on that, but I'm really trying to get better at that. And I do still most of it is behind the scenes, because I do have a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see as well. But I do post a lot too, probably more than most people think. But I have a good friend that I've helped that is working this business, is Gold now, and she has had major health improvements and lost 60 pounds and all the things. And she was a former band mom with me, and she said, I snoozed you. She snoozed me, and her husband made her unsnooze me because she was so not feeling good and unhealthy, not just the weight, but just heart and all the things. And so I think it's that I'm honest and upfront with people. And when people aren't consistent and want to quit on their health journey, I'm truthful to, hey, that's okay. When you're ready to come back and be serious and consistent, it's not that it didn't work for you. It's that you're not ready for it. And when you're ready for it, I'm here for you. And so I do have a lot of people 10 years in, which makes me feel good about how I treat people, is I have a lot of people that I signed up early on that are now just coming back to me. And so I'm staying present in front of them on social media, but I'm also still checking back in with those people. I don't just drop them because they don't order from me anymore. And when they are ready, they actually come back to me. And those people are very, very successful the second time around. But it also makes me feel good about how I treat them when they do decide to leave as well. So that's kind of my game. Consistency is the name of my game. And I also, I guess you could say, consistently trying to learn and grow too, because I think there's always something you can improve on. So,
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. So I kind of just jotted down some of the highlights that I got. So what I'm hearing is authentic sharing, consistency. I would like you, well, first of all, I want to compliment you, because what I'm seeing in you is a lot of emotional maturity. And that's something that we talk about a lot on our team, is not getting caught up and working from feelings, you know, when people want to quit or you have a bad day, like you just let yourself shut down. I never ever see that from you. And so I just really want to commend you on that because that's a huge testament to your success too, I believe.
Well,
So
and I think that, sorry, real quick on that, I will just say that is knowing who you are and whose you are, and that this business doesn't define you. And you can't, it's like with people who you share about the business to work it or just about the products, you can give them all the tools. I say this to my boys, I can give you all the tools, but you have to pick up the shovel and you have to do something with it. And knowing that gives me that peace and that freedom that I've done all that I can do. And I think once that's the biggest thing that I try to help people that work this business with me is to get off of the emotional roller coaster. Because I mean, if you stay on that, you're always going to be up and down. I mean, I had somebody quit today, and I mean, it's not that we don't have people quit. It's seeing it from a perspective of it's not you if you've done all that you can do to help them and trying to meet them where they are, because it's where they are and not a reflection of you.
absolutely, 100%. And like you said, if you give it your all, it's really not about you. It's about them. And like you said earlier, those people, a lot of them do come back. And when they do come back, then they know like, okay, now I have to be ready, right? So, one thing that I would love for you to spend a little time, maybe going into detail and explaining is, I know you said just very casually earlier that you don't really have an upline that walks you through things and gives you all the things. Like you've really done this on your own. You have kind of walked into this blindly and have had to figure it out without a guide. And that's just incredible to me. So I would love to hear a little bit about, because you have really big vision, you have really big goals. How did that happen? Is that something that, are you naturally that kind of a person, or is this something that you saw somebody else get to the top and think, okay, I could do that, I'm going to figure it out? And then really what made you decide to go all in?
Well, first of all, I do have a great upline. She's just great with numbers, and I'm not. So she's great. If I ever ask for anything, she's happy to help me. I just don't have someone who has like all these systems and plans in place and all these things, right? So what I did was I followed people that I liked how they shared, and I followed people who were being successful that I was seeing on leaders boards and things. And again, I separate the two. Like if they're new, I understand that they just have they're just starting out to share. But if they're like Jamie Dimon and they're being successful, I'm going to follow them if they share with the way that it would touch me, like they would reach me. And so I followed that because in the beginning I didn't know what to do. So I just copied and pasted everybody's things because they say, oh, okay, it's fine. I did. And I didn't know what to do. And my friends know I'm not a hey girl kind of person. And so when I came into my own on that, those Facebook memories are great for that to show you how much you've grown in your posting. And then I started thinking back to when we were missionaries and they taught us how to share a Bible story in the heart language, but how to do it in chunks, just like we do as teachers, right? You chunk and you different learning styles. And so then I started thinking, I don't need to say my whole Plexus story in one post. And so I started breaking it and doing bite-sized chunks. And that seems to do very well. I also stopped being a Miss Scientist and Miss Give all the science and details because most people don't care. They just want to know if this is going to make me feel better. And so I started getting a lot, and compliance too. So I started getting a lot fluffier, but fluffy works as long as people know that it's going to work for them. So that being said, I kind of just figured that out. I am a kind of girl that if I'm where there's a will, there's a way. And I think really honestly, God showed me that, planted that seed in my heart that this was an open door for me to be able to have my cake and eat it too. I've been home 6 years and been able to stay home. And even though my kids are in college now, I could drop something in the, and go have lunch with my kid. All the things, and I can do this full time, and I'm not stressed anymore with spreadsheets and all that with the other work that I was doing. It's just brought a peace to our home. But also the bigger picture is we have bigger dreams and goals to do certain mission work again. But it takes money, right? And so I saw people like Celeste talking about their mission work and things. I met Cheyenne Weevil early on, and they were in the process of adopting their daughter, and she and I just became friends. She put me on her team pages and things like that. So I just made connections with people along the way, and which is very easy for me because I'm a people person. And I really have come out of my shell, because never in my life would I have wanted to speak in front of people. Even as a teacher, it was okay with kids, but I weaseled out of teacher in-service things that they asked me to train in. And I just didn't feel comfortable. And, I'm back doing with this business, I'm doing what I feel like God placed on my heart back when I got my master's, and I wasn't using it. I wasn't using that thing that I was interested in. And now I'm able to use that. We don't have to have it, but I'm able to use it, and it's been a very big benefit for me. So all that being said, I think I'm just someone who sets goals. I need goals, just like these prizes. I always say they're the cherry on top of already an amazing compensation plan. But I do pretty much. I think Nikki has told me I don't think I've ever missed one of these prizes in all the years. But it's because I know that that's my short-term goal for the big term vision of my business. So it's not trying to bring people in to earn the prize, it's trying to bring people in, but that's my goal. And once I hit that, I don't stop there for the month. And so I just keep going. And my goal is to get people to love the products like me. Like the girl who signed me up, I have hardly ever heard from her, and more power to her. She's earning a nice paycheck, and she didn't have to resell to me ever again, because I fell in love with what the products were doing for me. And so that's the goal with that, is helping people fall in love with how they feel, and then they don't want to quit, and planting that seed and that vision for the business. But yeah, for me, it's just, I think it's a bigger picture that God's planted on my heart, and I'm just not a quitter. So and I work hard.
That's awesome. And you have, yeah, an incredible future. I know it. I can see it, and I'm super excited for that. So what kind of advice would you give? Because I just, like, your belief radiates, your belief in yourself and your vision, your company, the products. What would you give for advice to somebody that's really struggling with belief or consistency, that's suffering because they don't have that belief?
Well, I think first of all, honestly, my confidence comes from who I am in Christ. But I will tell you that I became more confident and more bold in speaking that when I felt better. And that is just a matter, I mean, everyone can be consistent with the products if they want to. This day and time, we've got our phones, we've got Alexa. There is no excuse. And I say that to every single person who starts on these products. They can't work for you if you don't get them in you and take them consistently and give them time. So I kind of say that up front, so you don't have to call them out on the back end, that you need to be consistent, and you need to give it your full on effort, because that's on you. That's not on me. I also say the longer I have been on these products and using them consistently, is that it's not that, again, it's not that the products don't work or that we need something new and amazing. They work, and they are amazing. From 2014 for me and for my husband, who have different results. They work for anyone who takes them and takes them consistently. It's not a sprint. It is a marathon with your health. I always say healthy is a lifestyle, not a destination. It's not a number on a scale. And weight loss is part of my health journey, but I didn't stop there, because that's not the whole health picture. So that's that. But also with the business, the more that I'm consistent with the products, or the more that I just see compounded interest in our health, the more I also am confident in this business. But I also, getting to know the heart of the company. That's why I went to my very first thing, and I met Cheyenne at my very first thing, and I heard Alec and Charles speak. And I was asking myself, does my beliefs, my personal beliefs align with this type of business? Honestly, because I never sold anything, and most network marketing you don't think of as like, I didn't think of it as viable, and I didn't think of it as I don't know. I just didn't know how it was going to be. And hearing the heart of them, getting to know these guys over the years, just really solidified that they're good people, and that they want the best for us, and they want the best for the company. And that belief just grows in time. I think it really does grow in time, and my confidence has grown in time as well. And I'm just 100% all in no matter what. So I don't know. I just think it's time and being consistent in sharing. And, I've had my share of people be ugly to me. I've had my share of when I was teaching, I had people spreading rumors about me. And did it hurt? Yes, it hurt. I was in tears about it one day at home. But again, I go back to my faith in God. If this is what I know He wants me to be doing, then I've got to be tough and get a little tough skin. And they're not who matters. And I don't answer to them. And so, as long as I know I'm doing the right thing and treating people the right way, then I can go boldly and be confident in it. And I just have never seen what you put into this is what you get out of it. If you treat it like a job, it pays like a job. And when you go all in like I have and quit my job because I, did that with my teaching, then you have to work it and you want to work it. I actually still enjoy doing this to this day, because I love helping people and helping them see the results and all the things. Now I'm looking forward to helping people see what I've seen with the business as well.
And I think that is priceless, honestly, because we know, I mean, most of us on here are here because of the products, and we've gotten great results. And I think that's pretty typical of starting for the products and then later realizing, hey, this business is incredible. People are not only sick physically, they're sick financially, and everybody can use more money for good things, right? Like, we can go to our 9 to 5s and work hard and barely scrape by, or we can do something non-traditional, and when God blesses it, do bigger and better things for His kingdom. And I think not very many people think that way or realize that there's a different way. And so just knowing that and spreading that belief and opportunity to people is amazing as well. And I just love to hear that your heart is in missions. I mean, we all know that God has His people all over the world, and very, very inspirational. So,
Well, and this is the mission field too. And I will just say, it's the three things. It's helping people with people are sick with their health. They're sick, financially and spiritually as well. And so it is just, I think it's the biggest mission field that I have ever been in. And we've lived as career missionaries in other countries. And so it is, and then the fact of what God can do with it financially too. It just excites me. And again, it's all in God's hand and God's timing, but that excites me to see the potential. And I look at people like Celeste who have done those things. And it doesn't mean you have to go and live in another country or anything like that, but just the ability to give more than ever, and not think about it is priceless.
100%, 100%. And that's a great way to end it. So thank you so, so much for your perspective. And I love just hearing perspective from other people's and other people's teams that, but yet we're still one plexus, right? We still help each other and support each other and pray for each other. And yeah, just thank you so, so, so much for your time and just sharing those perspectives with us. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, thanks for asking me.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us, and have a blessed rest of your evening.